The all-American hash pounder, 2 pure beef patties, lettuce, tomato.
Singles going steady.
This is Singles Going Steady, the podcast dedicated to exploring great singles with a particular eye to the punk, new wave, and DIY eras of the last century. I'm Steve McGowan.
I'm Adrienne Meddock. We are in a band, the Beef People, who released a single in 1986 on our own label, Zub Records. But we're also record collectors and passionate especially about the expression of pop music perfection that is the single recording. Exploring the mystery of what makes for a great single is what propelled us to begin this podcast.
And this is episode 021. And we are both, Adrienne and I are both on a Undertones sugar high because this episode is about the Undertones from Northern Ireland, and it's about their single, My Perfect Cousin, from their second album, Hypnotized. And we just watched a documentary from 2001 with John Peel in it about the Undertones called Teenage Kicks, the story of the Undertones.
A complete sleeve of
and we are just, our heads are floating around on the amazing, amazing music of the Undertones. They're so good. Both of us are sitting here watching it going, this is great. No, this is great. This is the best song ever. No, this is. So, we want to talk a little bit about the Undertones. They're just a wonderful, wonderful pop band.
In general, and specifically, we did, single out one single, so to speak,
right,
that we will focus on today. And
there will be other Undertones singles we will have to talk about. But so this was 1979. They're on Sire Records, and the second album. The song is called My Perfect Cousin. And I guess we're going to listen to some of it now.
Yes, because we don't want to
give it all away.
We don't want to give it away, and we don't want to stand between you and the pleasure your ears are
pop
about to
perfection.
receive. Yeah.
Yes. So here we go. The Undertones from 1979. My Perfect Cousin.
What I like to do, he doesn't. He's
Okay, the Undertones. We had the pleasure of just watching the video, the official Undertones video for the song, which was actually directed by Julian Temple and was filmed at the O'Neill brothers in the band, their old house in the back.
Definitely early days for Julian Temple.
Yes.
Went on to films and elaborate videos.
This is the funniest video I think I've seen in a long time. The Undertones look like they're all 12 and they're just hamming it up, and Feargal is just going crazy, and there's a little Byzantine soccer game involved, which ties in with the sleeve of the single, the little roly-poly soccer guys, and or as they would say, football.
Yes.
And the song is just amazing. Supposedly, it's actually about one of the cousins of somebody in the band. They won't say who, but who thinks that the singer is a cabbage because he hates University Challenge.
Hates University Challenge.
Oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
And we were watching the documentary, and they were saying that there's no way you can do an Undertones song without singing in a Derry accent from Northern Ireland, and it's true. Feargal Sharkey has such a unique and one of a kind voice. To say the same thing twice, it's just they were saying that he won all kinds of awards in Catholic school for being in the choir and singing, and you can tell he's really got a very one of a kind, a not very repeatable type of voice.
And I don't know if you want to call out the documentary that we just watched with BBC from 2001.
Yeah. John Peel was still in it. Yeah, he was the presenter, as they say.
And it's Teenage Kicks,
right,
the story of the Undertones. Mm-hmm. And it's really well done, and
talks to all the guys in the band,
including Feargal, who turned tail and basically he was their own Yoko.
Yes.
Right? Yoko from within.
Exactly. But it's just a great story, and there's great footage, and they just seem like the nicest guys. They come from an area in Northern Ireland where the Troubles were, and all the political strife, the religious problems up there, and they got a lot of flack for not really singing about it. But there was a good point in the documentary saying that this is what they were doing. They were protesting against all the violence and the hate by writing positive pop, uplifting, fun songs. That
was their resistance.
Yes.
Was the escapism.
Yes. They started off pretty much as a Ramonesy type band. And
right. Very pop-oriented, very short songs.
Yeah. Buzzy guitars.
Songs.
And by the second album, they'd already started to stretch out. Obviously this song here is not just a 3-chord, Ramonesy type song. There's a lot going on. There's stops and starts, and there's lots of cool parts in it.
And the lyrics are, I don't want to use the word sophisticated, but the lyrics are clever. They are
funny.
They're funny. They're funny,
yes.
and it's interesting because Feargal was such a performer,
yes.
and certainly takes on sort of like the mock anger of the song in the video, but he's not the lyricist.
Right, exactly.
It's not his perfect cousin, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. One of the things I was going to say about the song is by the time they'd gotten to this second record, Hypnotized, they were really exploring some more pop angles, and they would go on even further in the records to come. Our band, the Beef People, did many times we covered the song Hypnotized.
Yes.
One of Adrienne's standout tracks. And we're going to play you...
In air quotes.
Yes, we're going to play you a little bit of us doing Hypnotized.
Have your own air quotes ready.
No, it's something I'm very proud of. We were talking about how there should have been an Undertones tribute band, and they could have been us.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
So here's the Beef People doing Hypnotized back in the day. We'll play you a little bit of it right now. So there we go. The Beef People hamming it up as pretending to be the Undertones. We love that band so much. So the documentary shows they reached a point there towards the end. Fiergel just kind of gave up, and he left the band, and they were kind of left at loose ends for a while. And
he was definitely odd man out in the band.
Yeah.
And they explained some of the reasons for that. But I think he was definitely alienated and really isolated by the rest of the band.
Yeah, I think so. They said that from day one it was kind of him and them. So,
right, and I think musically they're very different than his solo career, which he's very proud of.
Right, which is very, very a thing of the 80s.
like cryogenically frozen 80s. Concentrated
not the good part
80s.
of the 80s.
Right.
So then the guys, almost all the guys in the Undertones went on to form the band That Petrol Emotion, which were quite a thing in Britain, made a little bit of a splash over here. We will be talking about them in a future podcast soon, actually, and another just amazing, excellent band. And then things went on for a while, and the Undertones have since got back together.
Yes, and they have
a
new singer who doesn't have any of the. Well, I don't know if they're affectations. I think if anybody else put on the Fiergel voice, it would be an affectation.
Right. Mm-hmm. But he is Irish,
and he's so he's got that going for him for getting his pronunciation around the lyrics, the dairy style lyrics. But I forgot what I was going to say.
They're back together. Oh. They're singing Teenage Kicks, even though they're 50 years old.
Exactly. And what I was going to say is the parallel with the Ramones. Really, we've got a Northern Irish Ramones here that very much in the service of pop and. Just like the Ramones later had some political overtones in their songs, the Undertones
they grew into it a little bit.
Grew into being a little more comfortable at expressing some of their political views of the just disaster that was going on in Derry around them.
Right, the Northern Ireland Troubles.
And the club that they got their start in was actually built on a bomb site.
Right.
So, I mean, it's stuff that they couldn't ignore. It was literally at their feet.
Weren't they talking about being searched when they went to school?
Yeah. That every day when they went to school, you got searched. So the occupation, growing up in occupation, really had to have... provide some fuel for winning escapism.
And coming from a place kind of like my hometown in Scotland, Glasgow, where the people don't want you to get above your station. They don't want you to do anything that gets you out of the group. And they're quite willing to pull you down a peg if you try to do something different. The Undertones faced a lot of that in Derry. They talk about that, and they were getting a lot of stick from people, as they say. And but they managed to overcome it. They got on top of the pops. They got a record deal. They made amazing records. And My Perfect Cousin is just one of the many examples of the great singles that they put out.
Yeah, but together in their original form for a very short time, rapid development. And I'm thinking about Positive Touch being my favorite.
Just one of my favorite records ever.
Just a perfect record.
And Hypnotized.
Well, but Positive Touch to me is really like the Undertones Revolver.
Yes,
I agree. And that you've got this sort of perfect work with nothing out of place, every note. No, just right.
Love it, absolutely love it. So, My Perfect Cousin. Do you hear anybody covering this?
I don't know. Let me think about that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Nothing like really springs to mind to me. Maybe Morrissey. Because you could hear him moping that one up pretty good.
I think a mopey version might actually, it could support that.
He is the king of mope.
It would take. He's got that underlying humorous tone that could, even in a mopier vein, I think would retain that.
Yep.
Get that lighten up. Morrissey.
Do you have a recommendation?
recommendation would be completely to immerse yourself in the Undertones. That documentary would maybe not be a good place to start.
There are other documentaries too, right?
There are a bunch of them. Because I think that
the YouTube is your friend with the Undertones.
Yes, and when you consider like John Peel, did he actually?
He was their champion.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and
he just loved the band.
His epitaph to be...
Yeah, he wanted teenage kicks on his headstone, so I don't know if he got it, but he was definitely... He's the presenter in the documentary we saw, and you can tell he just loves that band like his own child.
Would they sort of blame him as their parent?
Yes. So that would be my recommendation too, which is basically the same as Adrienne's. Check out the documentary we were talking about, Teenage Kicks, The Story of the Undertones. Get hypnotized, get positive touched, get the first Undertones record, get a compilation. You can't go wrong. And we will be talking about the Undertones again, and at that Petrol Motion as well. And so that's it for Singles Going Steady 021. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
See you soon.
To learn more about the artists and recordings we just talked about, visit our website at zubrecords.com and click on the Singles Going Steady icon.
You'll also find links to the persons, places, and things we recommend, and much more.
You can find episodes of Singles Going Steady on our website or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Singles Going Steady is brought to you by the power and majesty of Zub Records. Zub Records. Smart sounds for sharp people.